Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sarah Sadouk. I'm a member of the Create App Championship Committee, and it's a pleasure for me to be here welcoming you for this crucial workshop. First of all, before I start diving into the housekeeping rule for the day, I'd like to say congratulations to all of you. You have submitted your MVP with us in order to conduct the closed testing session with you. So as you know, this submission is not that you're launching on Android or on App Store, but it's for our soldier of tester to come and test your MVP in order for you to be officially launched on Android and on App Store. So well done, because I know those few days were extremely stressful, and what you've done essentially is working towards your big milestone, which is launching your app within 45 days. The reason why we're doing this is really to give you a boost. So if you have an idea, you bring it to life. And once you start the job, nothing is perfect at the beginning, but once you start, you can always iterate and add new features to your app. So I just wanted to tell you, well done. I know some of you were giving up at some point, and they picked themselves up to push to the finish line. So today we're going to be welcoming an exciting speaker, which is Sven from Talabat. And I can tell you, as you know, all our speakers were fantastic. And today is another speaker that will provide you insights on his experience at Talabat as a CTO, but not only. And this session will be moderated by Alia Merin Ahmed, who is the feature editor of Entrepreneur.com. You may have seen her name on article on Entrepreneur.com, and now you'll see her face a bit more as she is conducting a series of video that highlights the main points of the articles she writes brilliantly. So on the call, I have also Fawaz and his team who will be helping you and step by step on how to conduct the closed testing session. In terms of housekeeping rule, it's the same as before. If you have any question, drop it on the chat box. And if you want to take the mic as well, please feel free to unmute yourself and open your video. So without further ado, I'd like to give the mic to Alia for the rest of the session, and Sven. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah. That was a very kind introduction, so thank you. Like Sarah mentioned, I am the features editor at Entrepreneur Middle East, but our star of the show today, our star of the workshop today is in fact Sven Herzing, who is the Chief Technological Officer at Talabat. Some of you who are tuning in today might actually know him because he has been the mentor for the Create Apps program and also been one of the judges for the finals that took place not too long ago. Now, I am assuming, and I hope I am right, that everyone in the audience today knows Talabat. But if unfortunately you've been living under a rock, let me give you a quick introduction. Talabat was founded in 2004, and it is today the leading on-demand delivery platform in the MENA region. As of December 2024, I'm reading this from the latest press release, 6.5 million active users across the region. It did start out as an online food delivery services platform, but now it has branched out into groceries and other convenience products. All right, Sven, thank you very much for joining us today and for being our, I'm sure our participants are looking forward to what you have to say today. If you don't mind, I'm going to quickly jump into the first question. And, our participants today they're on the precipice of launching their apps across iOS and Android, and I'm sure there's a lot of anticipation surrounding that. But before they do it, are there any common mistakes that they should be avoiding in terms of, avoiding rejection in the app review process? And while we delve into that, if you could perhaps also touch upon the differences and the similarities that they should be keeping in mind when they launch it on Android versus iOS.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Okay. First off, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be able to speak again. And now, common mistakes in the app submission process. Over time, the process got refined, and actually, it's nowadays really simple and straightforward. However, on Apple side, it's more sensitive to privacy, and actually, Apple also does user testing itself before they approve the app. So Google is a lot easier and straightforward once you submit the app. I think what you need to keep an eye on is do you have payments in the app? Then if that's so, you would need to check that it's rightly set up, but also that you don't have any violations on their payment rules. Apple is quite sensitive about it. Google is a bit more open. Then similar on the app, there's the images you use and the content you have in the app. You need to make sure you have the copyright for them. Some platforms start nowadays to check for copyrights, and if the content is not for your original one, that can be a problem, can lead to rejection. And then both platforms actually do a check. While Google does this app compliance check automatically, I have not been aware that they're using the app, but on Apple, actually, they have a person downloading the app and testing it. So if you have a country-based restriction, I would say make sure that Ireland and the UK work. We had this problem in the beginning that actually we blocked certain countries, but then if the reviewers cannot test your app, they don't let it through. So then you have a specific rules of saying, okay, you allow, even if you do country-based blocking, you allow the IPs of Apple in Europe or in the US, depending where they're testing, to make sure that the testers from the company can actually use the app. And the ability, I think it's more a question for later on, but they're a bit hesitant to approve app if it crashes during testing. So that can get flagged by them. And then the last one, I think also back to Apple side, is privacy. You might have seen in the App Store that Apple nowadays, or in the advertising, calls out privacy a lot. In the App Store, they highlight what data you collect. And if you collect different data that you announce in the manifest file, then they might reject it as well. So you should be quite straightforward about which data you collect. But also then a tip is to minimize the data you collect itself, as you have the collecting more data than needed impacts the perception of the customer. But also then you have to think about privacy rules in the country you operate, GDPR, and so on. So that is a point I have.
Right. I hope everyone is taking notes. I did mention this when I hosted a talk earlier as well. I hope everyone who is listening in is taking notes, because these are really practical insights we're getting. Swan, let's move into, perhaps the most significant end result of this stage, which is user acquisition. And our participants are looking at, say, gaining their first 1,000 users. When it comes to reaching this milestone, are there any online spaces or effective channels that they can use to gain those first 1,000 subscribers or users? And also within this phase, how important is the concept of marketing? And if it is, how much time, effort, and capital do you think needs to be allocated?
I think if you're a new platform which doesn't have any users, I think there's always a mix between marketing and a mix of word of mouth or free acquisition. But let's first go into the model of the app. If you sell a product on the app, being it content, being subscription, think about if I have never, as a customer, never heard about your app, how do I get onto it? How would I be convinced to give you my credit card or spend money? Think for those cases, having sort of a freemium model, a trial period, where you don't ask for payment information is quite important, that customers actually get the option of saying, oh, do I know this? Can I have a look at it? And is it useful for me? That's the first step into the door. And then the next step is once you have the opportunity to do that, how you drive acquisition of traffic towards it. And two options. One is performance marketing. That can be expensive, but depending on the search terms you would use and the audience you have, it can be an experiment to try it for cheap. Go to normal platforms like Google Marketing, Facebook, and from there try out if you a very small amount, $10, $20, $30, $50, and see how much customers you can gain. But also then afterwards, in a sense of how do those customers behave? Like if you would see If it's a fairly small space, you might be able to get a number of customers for a very low price, and it might be an ideal way. The other one is then you do word of mouth marketing, and you look into, if you have an app that caters a specific need, where is the discussion about this niche? Is it a productivity app? Where are people discussing around it? Is there certain influencers? Can you give them access for free? Can you also in those forums give them be part of the discussion? What works, what doesn't work? From there you get the insights in what could influence the design of your app, but also how to be part of discussion and get people to try it out. I think if you're lucky and also then one of the persons who's very influential in the space, you could then get a bit more traction, but I wouldn't count directly on it. So it's more a little bit of marketing, a bit part of the discussion, and then see how you go from there.
Right.
But it's
I
never
think that,
fully free. That's
yeah,
the
very
point.
true. Yeah, I think the point that you mentioned about finding the niche groups online, which are, discussing what your app is about, I think that's a great point, because sometimes in this rush for marketing, people do tend to look at only social media. But, like Sven mentioned, if you can find groups online that are discussing what your app is about and the niche points and pain points that you are addressing, then that is a great source as well. Sven, before we sort of move into, user feedback, which comes with this stage, there is the concept of App Store optimization that comes up. And some of us in the audience might know what that means, some of us might not. Briefly to touch upon it, could you perhaps explain what this concept means and what it entails in terms of, visibility and downloads for an app?
It comes actually from way older topic, from search engine optimization, from the early days of Google when we had only websites, and say, okay, how can you become get to a higher position in the search results? And similar for apps. I mean, if you nowadays search a term, it can be that you get a result in Google that actually shows it's an app. But similar in the App Store, you have a natural ranking, what comes up, what's in the first top 100. But then also if you search for a generic term, like if I search for a specific app and I know the name, that's usually always the first term. But if I go to a broad space like a productivity app, then actually there's similar to website ranking, a ranking of the apps available in the App Store. And the question then, how we get a higher ranking or higher position in the ranking, that you're maybe in the first top 100 or 200. And different parts are here important. One is actually the title, subtitle, to say the more generic term is, how can you make it match that you would match a broader term and a specific term. Then obviously apps that are more famous have a higher download rating, usually are higher in the ranking. And update frequency plays into a role. For example, if you're a new app, you can get higher in the ranking if you manage to get a good spike in the download. Then automatically that might be a trending up and the App Store would rank you higher. But then it must be sustained over a certain amount of time. And as App Stores or App Stores track interaction of apps, if it's only a one-time download but never used, it wouldn't count. So retention of of users into an app is quite important. Saying, okay, I get some people to download the app and keep them using it helps. While if your customers would download the app and then uninstall it, that actually would be detrimental. That would actually lead to a bit of down ranking. And then similar, you have stability that impacts App Store ranking and links to your app. So if you have mentions of your app on social media, on blog, on app directories, as mentioned before, if there's discussions in certain forums around productivity and it mentioned your app, so things actually help your App Store ranking. If you have links, even better. Those are automatically indexed. And then the back and forth linking between the apps internally and externally helps to get a better ranking.
All right. You brought up the concept of retention, and that is, I feel, linked a lot to my next or
Mhm.
perhaps the last point I want to discuss. But as technical and as technological as our conversations are today, I do like to bring in the concept of, the human psyche and the entrepreneurial
Mhm.
spirit into conversations. The app submission process, I would suspect, is one of the most, widely looked forward to moments in a developer or an early stage
Mhm.
founder's journey. When it comes to having realistic expectations of, say, downloads and the number of users you can gain
Mhm.
versus dreaming big, what advice would you give them? Because sometimes it's a very sort of fine line to tread. If there's any advice you would give these founders, what would that be?
I think it's always like the first download, like have milestones. The first download you get, which is outside of your team, is one.
Mm,
The first customer who pays something for using your service is a big milestone. And then from there you set the next one. You will see quickly of, do I get a number of download? How fast does it grow? Everybody dreams
mm,
of the big hockey stick growth, but it's not always the case. But if you can consistently grow your customer base
mm,
and they stay engaged, then that's a win. I think there's no there's no golden rule what it should be, but I
mm,
think just set your own milestones, what you want to achieve by when, and focus on how to get there. And then
right.
it's a lot of experimentation.
Mm,
I mean, most startups pivot at some point earlier or later. So the first version you have is rarely the last version you will have, or which
wow.
makes you have a breakthrough.
Yeah. Yeah, very true. The first version you have is rarely the last version you have. I think everyone should take that home today. Uh, my last question to you,
Mhm.
Sven, is regarding the concept of user feedback. And, a couple of weeks ago, our participants were at the MVP stage. They've bulldozed
Mhm.
through that stage, and they're just waiting to see how their app submission
Mhm.
process goes. When it comes to, weeding through the barrage of feedback and comments that you can get once the app is on the app store or on Android, what is a good rule of thumb when it comes to, say, separating between the good comments or the bad comments, or I like to say, between the healthy versus the outright hateful, or simply, just pointless comments might come in sometimes. How can our participants choose
Mhm.
healthy and, good feedback that can help their apps grow in the long term?
I think at the beginning, like you will not have millions of feedback a day. And at the beginning, every feedback is good feedback. It's an
Mm,
ability to have a conversation with a customer who otherwise might be anonymous.
mm,
And if you get a, hey, everything is great, makes you feel good. If someone said, like, here's what I don't like, then you have a conversation, you can answer to the App Store and actually say, hey, what's missing? What could you like? How would you? And you can actually ask them, have a conversation outside of the feedback session and use it as a user interview, get more insights.
mm,
And if something is hateful, well, then that's just life in the internet. I mean, you will get everything from the human side, from joy to applause to critical feedback to comments to not so nice things. And then you choose what to ignore, what not. But at the beginning, see it as an opportunity to have a conversation with your customer base, because that helps you to understand them better, their needs better, and have a better product in the long run.
right, right. I
Maybe
think,
also
yeah,
one
yeah,
more
go ahead.
comment. If you get a 1-star rating, you need
Mm,
5-star rating to offset that. So actually, having feedback early on helps. You get a comment, you get maybe a 1-star rating, have a
mm.
conversation with the customer. If they said, oh, the app crashes, fix that crash. They change it to a 3, 4, 5-star rating. It makes life easier. Because also the star rating helps you in App Store optimization.
Yes. Very true, very true. I think that is a great metric actually, which Sven just shared right now. So if you get a 1-star rating and you work on what was, suggested to you, and that changes to a 3 or 4, then that in itself is also a milestone, and it's also a plus point. This was meant to be a very short conversation, and we have indeed actually reached the end of the conversation and the points that we had in store today. But that means we can now open the door, we can open the floor for questions from our participants today. So if you have any questions for Sven, please do raise your hand, and Carmen and I will make sure that we give you a chance. I think Mahra is asking. Mahra, go ahead. You can unmute your mic and ask.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum
Mahra
salam wa
Shawzani speaking. I'm the founder of Pharmedic, an AI integrated drug interaction checker application. We aim to launch by June 30. And I wanted to ask, in regards to feedback, what feedback matrices would you apply early on to ensure that we cater our platforms to all users? Second, we currently are deploying interns in our company, and with quite a large number of interns, how or where would you delegate most our manpower or human resources to ensure our startup, let's just say, prospers long term?
Great questions, Sven.
Let's start with the second part, where to put your focus of the people first. The question is, what do you need to do to scale? In the end, you would ask yourself, what can I automate? What needs human ingenuity? And think about where you can automate, where you can live with false results. And if you can not really live with the false results, or you could need to automate, then you need human on this job. What often is the case is you can automate up to a certain point, meaning 60, 70, 80%. And then some results you need to double check. And I think what often happens is we tend to think I fully automate or I fully do it manually. But think about if you have a startup and you need to focus on efficiency, how much can you automate and how can you know when you have to have a human check your results? Then you actually know where to split and where to focus on. And on the first, can you repeat, please? You asked about where to focus on in the feedback, or
Yes.
don't know if I understand that right.
So what matrices should we look into? For example, churn rate, pre-downloads, customer acquisition rates, feedback, like what would you deploy into the app, and what feedback should we be collecting?
Usually you would look at acquisition first, because right now you don't have any actual users. And then once you have an acquisition, you need actually to look at retention. So think of a leaky bucket. If you put water in it, it flows out. Similar in an app, like if you add more to it, then it leaks out, your customer base grows. But at some point, it's still, would users come back? So think in a startup, first you look at acquisition, and then pretty soon after you focus on retention. And then many things afterwards are a function of that. Plus, for startup, it also depends on funding. How long can you run? How much does each customer cost you? And when do you start to make revenue of each customer? So it's a balance. Also, depending on if you have investors later on, how long are they focusing on funding growth versus funding profitability?
Right. I hope
Thank
that
you
answers
again
your
for
question,
your-
Mahra. Thank you, Mahra. I think Kareem from Motion is next, and then we'll go to Veronica. Kareem, you can unmute your mic.
Yes. Yes, hi Sven. Thanks for sharing the wise wisdom that you've said today. So yeah, my name is Kareem. I'm the founder of Motion. So Motion is a performance analysis app where we use the Apple Watch to analyze the swing of players in a way that has never been, let's say, done before, or like unconventional. So it's quite hard to know if people are willing to adopt this new tool, for example. And getting a product market fit is quite important when you're trying to sell something for people. And for us, what we are facing right now is that do we set the app to be free at the beginning and focus on customer acquisition, or do we start making people pay for it and see if they're willing actually to pay money to get access to this tool? Because yeah, it's important to get people to pay for it, and that's how you know that people are really loving the product and want to use it. But at the same time, you want people to use the app and test it and see how they use it. So what would you focus on more at this point?
Question also comes down to what's your business model. Do you think it's a one-time payment or it's a subscription-based model? If it's a one-time payment, then actually it depends on the App Store. And I haven't checked if you can really A/B test in the App Store. If you say half my customers or 10% gets it for free, 10% we leave it for one price and the rest for a different price. I think the easiest way you could approach it is if you're unsure about product market fit, at the beginning, you leave it free, see, and actually also work with your early customers, and also mention it in the app at some place that this is still an early version which is free, but pricing can later change. And generally, if something is free and you change to paid, it's not always an easy change. That's where you see the most drop-off of users. But in the end, to experiment, and if you make it clear, and even if you put it in the app somewhere that it's an early version which is free and the later finished product will be paid, customers still don't read this. Nobody does, but I guess it's the best way to work on product market fit in the beginning. And then you would add a survey in the product of saying, would you pay? I can do a fake door test. You could add a survey. I think maybe fake door test is better to say, please pay. You wouldn't charge the individuals to just measure how many people would have the intent to pay for it and how many would drop off. And you can work on that. And
Okay.
also allows you to test different price points because similar, if you don't know the product market fit, it's very hard to price a product.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's nothing really like it out there, so we can't compare it to
Yeah.
something. But yeah, thank you for the answer. I appreciate it.
Maybe one last tip.
Yeah.
We usually make very comparative analysis saying we get to values close to charge $3.99 or $4.99, but maybe do also add an extreme variant of saying I charge $3.99, $4.99, and $10 or 10 dirhams. And then you see what's the delta is, because then you can also guess maybe you are very far off and it's more valuable, or you think it's too, what you think is too expensive, what most people want to pay.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Karim. And our last question will be from Veronica, who's been waiting patiently. If you can just unmute your mic, Veronica.
Hi, thank you so much for today. I have a question with regards to the privacy policy and copyright of the content. My name is Veronica. I'm the founder of the Balance Size. It's comprehensive women well-being platform. We are ready for beta testing. So I would say 75% of our content, it comes from our partner, the partner of the experts in the different fields like nutrition, psychologists, fitness, and extra. So we are signing the agreement, of course, with all of our partners with regards to the copywriter and the authenticity of the content. So once we did it, once we launch and we get the approval from Apple, but I have to remove a couple of the content, which the name in the content, there is well a lot of the words of the health, since the health app. So we are not the health provider app, but the content which including in our app, it's anyhow it's related to the health. So although our experts, for example, they're certified and they have a license here in UAE is a mandatory, and they provide their content, it was not approved from the Apple. So the question is, now we did it in terms of this program from the personal account, but now we are applying for the business account since we got our DUNS number. So it was recommended to us to do the all uploaded content which is related to the health from the business account. But my question is, how it will be also will be it's the problem again with the content which relating to the health for the approval as well.
It's hard to tell. Healthcare is a very specialized field, so you have a lot of regulation. And I think the mobile providers fall back to the local legislation. So I haven't worked in the field and can't really tell. I mean, best thing you can do is try. If you try, you get a rejection, get a reason for it, and actually you can also try to appeal if Apple would reject it and said, well, the providers of the content are licensed, and you're just a distribution channel for the content. Interpretation of that, I can't tell. It would depend on how Apple sees it. I think it's also the point is also liability in terms of if Apple approves an app and there could be liabilities from that, how would that work for them or for you as a company? That's why I think they're a bit more sensitive about health-related content.
And there is another question. For the privacy policy, usually we take it as per rules and the regulation of the UE, and we also get the advisor from the legal part. But there is any specific that very sensitive for the Apple, I would say? Or whatever we say that related to the data privacy policy in the general plus the UE law, it will be enough.
In theory, I would say it should be enough. However, if it's health-related information the customers provide to you, it might have more requirements from them. Like I haven't worked in the field. I can't tell, and I haven't looked deeper into that, but it might be considered more sensitive information.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much
Thank
for your
you.
questions, Veronica. Thank you. And our last question will be from Jeff, who has his hand raised. Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay. Thank you so much for this insightful session. I'm Jeff. I'm the founder of VolSpace. We're building a financial automation system that offers split payments to individual businesses and teams, starting with a freemium. VolSpace has a VolSpace Group for individuals and VolSpace Pro for businesses. But we are offering everything for free to get product market fit. Now, my question is, how far is too far? Because sometimes I've noticed with a lot of startups, just to get product market fit, they go with free, but they get to pay for it at some points because they went too far with it. So when we're talking about free, then converting to a subscription-based model, which was our initial business model, when is the right time to implement it? Will we say, okay, at 1,000 users or 500 or 1,500? So like, when is the right time to include the subscription-based model?
I don't think there is the right time. I think what you could do is you don't say at a certain number of customers you convert it, but you would use it in a sense of you say it costs a certain amount from the very beginning, and you market as a first customer discount where you give, like, don't say it's free and later you change the pricing, but maybe in your case, you could say it always costs a certain amount and you just give the first customers a free trial of months, 2 months. So the perception changes a lot, because if you say it's free and now you charge, you lose a lot of customers. While the perception of a first user or early adopter is, look, I get it for free for a while everybody else would have to pay. So I don't think there is a clear time when you should do the change, but think about how long you can sustain that it's free because you incur the cost. And try early on with an A/B test when you can start charging a fee.
All right. I think with that, we'll have to end. I hope that answered your question, Jeff. Thank you very much for sending in your questions. And thank you, Sven. You've been incredible today. I don't think it's lost on any of us who've attended today how precious this has been and how important your insights are. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you to everyone who has tuned in. I do know that you have a workshop coming up, so we will wrap this up on our end. Thank you very much. And Sarah or Carmen, if you are here, I will hand over the mic to you.
All right. Thank you very
All right.
much.
Thank you, Mohammed.
I'll take it up earlier. Thank you. Thank you very much. Lovely hearing it from Sven, as I said. Very inspiring. All right, team, with that, let's move forward with a great inspiration from a great brand who has inspired about launching the challenges which it could be there. Thank you, Sven. Okay, let's move. You know what? We are here today on one before the one last day, right? Now, we are almost ready to be launched, and I've been working with most of you in the last few days, and the challenges we go through, and the motivations that we've been going through, and the challenges like, okay, you know what? It's almost at that level, but the timeline is crucial, and we wanted to get it done, right? Yes. Brilliant.
Thank you.
So now we are here. Workshop 4, and looking at the journey we have come through, right? We started with a screening, we started with the whole announcement to bring you into the program, and we had an onboarding call, and we had a workshop on guiding and publishing the iOS and Android. We did that, and most of you is great reason why we are able to submit it today. We are building it, testing the MVP. We had a workshop on MVP. And then we were working on the pre-launch. We went around testing, feedback, refining your MVP as a workshop. And last week we worked across the APK, A, B, test flight, all of it. And we are at workshop 4, one step before launch. So first of all, thank you all of you for putting that level of energy and time together with us to make it happen. And trust me, this is, as Talab Sriyan said, it's a most important version that you can go to the market and let's learn from the market. So that's about the launch, right? One step about the launch, we are here. Right. So with that energy, I see all of you. Let's go in. Very minimalistic housekeeping rules. As you know, we've been going through this all 4 weeks. Get your, and I would say, if there's any questions, just keep asking. Raise your hand if you want to. Use the chat. Engage as much as possible because it's about the live submission. Now, with all of this, the quick agenda for today, which we had is we had a very inspiring fireside chat with Swin from CTO for Talabat. And now we're going to go into Android and iOS production release, store listing, fundamentals, ASO, a little bit of a marketing channel, more about experimentation, about what case studies we could really look at it, and community partnership and post-launch roadmap, right? And all of this is valid only if get this ourselves launched, right? Yes, I'm sure I can see all kind of faces to say are ready to do all of this. Okay, now I'm not going to take much time. We're going to deep dive into the technical aspect. Let's resonate ourselves where we are together, right? Where is your app right now in the release process? Scan the code, all right? And A, final testing, B, preparing the store listing and assets, C, generating release build, and D, ready for store submission, and you're already submitted. And I know, just as a surprise to all of you, you'll see upcoming messages in the group. And do you know what? Out of these 2 apps is already published, one on Android and one on iOS. And I know the founders here just gonna keep it to yourself until we get to the last moment of this, which is as I always say, we are here to beat the deadline and we are entrepreneurs, right? Brilliant. Okay, I'm gonna give you a little more time to scan and get into, all right? Great. Let's look at what we are looking at. Let's get to the answers. Status is loading. Like all your apps is loading, the status is loading, and then we are gonna see the response. Oh yeah, we have 5 which is already submitted, but I know the number is more than this, which is on the closed testing already, and 2 on live. So which means a few of the people who are submitted has not responded on that, but yeah, great. And 2 we have a ready for store submission, and now 2 build generating the release build, and another 2 on preparing store listing, and 2 on final testing. So which means collectively we are on this phase of getting this done, right? And with that same energy, let's focus. And if there's any nitty-gritty details and you want to have, please ask, feel free. We are on a common goal to get this done, right? And just specifically before we get into the content of workshop, what I wanted to emphasize on the quick summary of experience in the last especially week is, I know sometime we had a little more time, we worked on more features. Sometime we had a time issue with few other verification challenges or few other challenges, technical challenges, Firebase challenges. There are times that we have like gone down once down on the features and made sure, okay, the product is ready for the build and release. And it's about entrepreneurial approach, right? And as Steven said, there is never a final version. The markets keep improving, markets keep developing, demands keep coming up, and we will be keep iterating as a journey of solving problems and bringing solutions via app. And wishing you all the very best. Thank you. And over to you, Pratishna. We'll take it on a whole publishing approach. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Fawaz, for that quick insight on overall status of all the application. I'm so excited to join you guys again. You must have already seen me in mentoring. So yeah, so excited. We are in the last stretch of the application publishing, and I hope you all are also excited to see this going live very shortly in a couple of more days, right? So we will be focusing truly on the closed testing approaches and how we can do this in Android and iOS. And without further ado, let's start off with Android. So most of the people here are like mostly on Android platform. So let's start off with that. So key steps before the release. So most of you all must have already been familiar with this, but anyway, I'm going to go through this this one more time. So first of all, you all must have already done in the review of the final feature set, and for the bug fixes that's going to go before the final production launch, what you are going to fix and what are the final feature set that you have already prepared for the production. And then also we will be basically updating the version code and version name. So you all must have had a couple of issues when it comes to the closed testing releases. Sometimes you're getting errors in the Play Store, likewise. So the major reason would be that the version code was not incremented. So the version name is okay, you can keep it as it is, but the version code needs to be incremented. Every time that needs to be incremented, that is the unique value for each different APKs that is being published. So make sure that they are implemented properly before updating your application. And also confirm the required permission in the privacy policy URL, which I think we had a couple of discussions, and I believe we have already discussed about the different areas regarding the privacy policy. But in the end of the day, you need a link that is public, which is visible for Google, and we'll talk about iOS down the line. So required permissions, if you are using on a specialized sensor-based application or camera permissions or any sensory related information, if you are processing anything, please make sure that you are aware of that and you have clearly identified all of these things before going for the actual release. So let's move on. So couple of things. So the way that if you are a full code developer, if you are a hybrid or a no code, it depends on that. These process steps will be slightly changed. So let's talk about the basic how to do this in the full code approach. So initially you will need to generate the key store, which usually this portion of these things will be done automatically within the application. And also I will show you how this can be automated within the Google Play Store. So usually when you sign it, and you can basically in the IDE itself, you will have an option called build get sign bundle APK, and then you generate the key then and there, and then you basically take it from there. So this portion of it is not necessarily, but if your development team is curious about how to do this in command line, you can issue these codes, and you will get the key. So configure Gradle, so signing configs under the build.gradle file. So usually this is also an automated process. Anyway, in case if you all have missed that step, just check your build Gradle file whether your signing configs are available. And build the AAB. So recently Google has switched from APK to AAB to the benefit of application size. So the latest application size with you can get the average advantage of lowering your application size by using AAB format. So you can do the AAB release. If you have an APK also, still it is fine for the close testing release. So if you have an APK, don't worry, we can still go ahead with this step. Right, moving on. So here is the place where we have the signing. So usually when you create a production release, or if you are in a closed testing, you will basically see this particular portion where it says the release signed by Google Play. So if that is the case, then you don't have to worry about signing your key, and the key management is actually automated within the Google Play Store. So initial app signing you will be doing, and then you will have the key, your JKS file with you. Then you will keep on managing it. But in case if you lose the key, or if you want to change the developers, or if there is a change in your organization, then definitely you can change the app signing key. So if you are lost it, it's not the end of the world. Still, you can make it work. Right. So rollout strategy. So in production, we are not going to go 100% on production because for a couple of reasons, because we don't know what kind of issues that we might have. Anyway, we do 2 weeks close testing and internal testing. Yes, that's there. But anyway, we cannot 100% assure that this application will go bug free into production. So what we can do is we can do a 10% rollout, so that when we do a critical release, like when we put it out to production, it's always good to go with 10% in the beginning, so we can validate the app stability. So if you got an issue, if your users are facing some problems, then definitely they will report it back as soon as possible. Then we are looking at quick patch fix and cycle before larger exposure. So before we reach to the larger audience, definitely we will have a heads up on some of the issues that we are facing. Then we'll go and monitor the performance. So when I say monitor the performance, it's about load time, responsiveness, and analyze the real world network and device performance. So if you all have any device specific related issues, then you will definitely identify it by the 50% mark of the release stage. Then after that, we will do a full 100% release to all the audience that is actually marked by you. You can select the region where you want the application to be out there. So if you want to roll out into UAE, basically it will go 100% on UAE market. That is just an example. So if you want to go globally, then all the countries you have marked the application to be available on, it will go live on all of those regions. When we are monitoring, just make sure that the crash target rate is less than 1%. We don't want applications to crash, because we are at the very beginning of the our journey, right? So we don't want to create some bad rapport with our target market. So make sure that we create a good impression by making sure that our application is crash free or almost crash free. And we don't want Android not responding or battery metrics and just those kind of issues. Just make sure that if you're using any sensory data or any kind of camera or any background services, just make sure that the battery consumption is somewhat average, and we are not utilizing more battery. Then if we are utilizing more battery, definitely we need to give the users that expectation that the battery usage will be higher. So, and also user reviews, always keep keep up to date with the user reviews, always check your Play Store. You will definitely get your notifications, but it will be middle of your emails. You might be getting a lot of emails, so it might not be practical. But as a practice, always go to the Play Store and check for the user reviews or any kind of feedback that the users have given, and act accordingly, because at the initial stage, this is very crucial. How quickly you respond to your target market is how far you can get the word of mouth out, and people are going to say good things about your application if you provide good enough support. So with that, let's move on to iOS. Similar process, there isn't much of a huge difference. Again, you have to update the bundle version and the bundle number. When we are doing the build version demonstration, I will definitely demonstrate how we can do this in the Xcode, and how this is going to get reflected in test flight or in the real world production. And also complete app privacy details and App Store in App Store Connect. Yes, privacy details is directly one-to-one mapped with the privacy URL. So you have all those details available in the App Store. Then gather the review notes and the demo credentials, because this is important for iOS, because they have physical testers sometimes testing your application before it goes live. So they will put some people to test your application. For them to work with your application, you need to provide some demo credentials. So make sure those are available with you when you are submitting the application, that the Apple has no restriction of accessing your application in terms of if it is behind a paywall or is it behind a login credential. Make sure to provide a dummy credential for them to work. Right, keeping that in mind, then definitely the signing and archiving process comes next. Then we will create a app ID. This might have been already done as part of your closed test release. If you all have already published, I saw a couple of teams have already yeah, it's great job, you guys. And also certificates during the development process and the distribution, certificates are already being set up. You would have already seen something like this in your Xcode. If you are not actively a developer, and if it is done by the development team, definitely they will have a good idea about what we are talking about here. And provisioning profiles is for the developers to actually do attach the do the builds and then do the publications in the Xcode. Make sure that they are provided with enough permissions and privileges so that they can do the app releases. Then you have to just archive and export it. You can do it directly from the Xcode. I will show two demonstrations down the line. So where we can do archiving in the Xcode and then distribute it within the Xcode itself, or we can use transcode to actually upload it. If you have the IPA file with you, then you can upload it directly into the Xcode. Right. iOS production release phase development is there. Then we'll do the phase release. So this is quite a little bit different from how we did it in our Android application. So daily fraction is going to be like 1%, 2%, 5%, 4, 10. So 5%, 10, 20, 50, and 100. So this is kind of different from Play Store. So this phase release will help you out to identify the same issues that we discussed previously. It's about crash reports in Xcode, and also the Store Connect analytics and the review and the usage. All of these things needs to be monitored while this phase release is in progress. You can see the phase release as dates, so that within these dates, it will gradually do your rollout. So this is for the production rollout deployment. All right. So with that, we will get into something very crucial now: store listing and fundamentals and app store optimization, right? So when we start off with the store is pretty much you have to treat it like a physical store where people are coming in and they are looking at the product, what you have for offer, and make sure that it's very appealing and has almost all the updated information about your application. So let's say you have done certain updates. If they are not reflected in the store, then definitely users might not be aware of what they are getting into. So this is the place where you can market or voice out or make some noise about your application. Also, these are the different artifacts that will be used across the App Store and the Play Store in different places if you have opt-in for marketing, right? Make sure the icons are flat design, high contrast, accessible. So even for people with color blindness will be able to easily recognize the shapes and the logos of the application. So even if it was grayscale, they should be able to identify your brand. So you definitely need to pay a little more attention to those icons. And then the screenshots. So usually in the past, you must have seen typical screenshots being uploaded into the stores, but it's not the case. Now we have actually places where we can show information about the application. Also the different features, we can show different images, products being used actively with the application, and those kind of appealing graphics can be used. So take that as a leverage, and you can also be very creative in these places. So a couple of examples here, you can see the Airbnb, and then the TikTok, and then the Farfetch. So this is an e-commerce application. So then title and subtitle, it should be concise and include the primary keyword. So here you can see the word Airbnb, and then this says vacation rentals and experiences. So here in TikTok, it says real people, real videos. And the Farfetch designer shopping, it says fashion and accessories. And they have mentioned about some kind of offer in that subtitle. So these kind of things, spaces where you can actually utilize as much as possible in order to improve your marketing of your application, right? So we'll talk a little bit about more where we can actually do this in our Play Store. So inside the Play Store console, inside the main store listing, you can definitely see all the information starting from the app name and the graphics and all of these things. Make sure that everything is in order in there. So the way you prefer it, always you can also do some store listing experiments, which is shown here. So we will do a deep dive on the assets. What are the asset requirements? So this must have been already done. In case if you are in the close test, you must have already added all these information into your store. So you definitely have an app icon, and then you have a feature graphic. This is the large banner that is displayed on top. Then you have the preview video. So you also know that your application can, your store listing can contain a 15 to 30 seconds video. Take leverage of this, show the application being in action. And if you are doing something different from, I heard some of the products that y'all are doing are unique and hasn't been done before. So explain about your product in this quick video, how they can be utilized in this 15 to 30 seconds. Imagine like it's like a kind of an elevator pitch to the people who are trying to download the application. So then we will move on to the screenshots, usually the call out, step-by-step feature highlights, and all the different things that will be shown here. So so these are the 4 different areas that you will definitely need to focus. So in the icon, avoid keep it simple, memorable, use high contrast colors. Again, in the video preview, keep it under 30 seconds, focus on the core use cases. Screenshot, make sure that it's in the in-app actual experience, and highlight the key features, and also feature graphics. Make sure that they visually convey the app essence, and avoid overuse of text. Make sure that is very visually appealing. Right. So not to mistake this with the copywriting, the legal copywriting. This is actually to do a sales pitch. And this basically what we describe as the short and the long description of the application, right? So when you do that, make sure that this localization is done properly. If you're targeting to a region where English is not spoken in a larger majority, make sure that it is localized to the local language that is being used in that particular area, so that the users can relate to the application better if it is localized. Okay, they will feel like this application is geared towards us, and they will take the pride in that application. So definitely that will work. So make sure that you localize your application, use their languages, use their keywords, make sure that it is targeted to those audience specifically when you're targeting that particular region. and use machine translation plus as a native review, and then adapt cultural references and currencies. Okay, so this cultural reference adaptation is something that I was talking about. Make sure that you relate to the people you are targeting on. If it is UAE, for example, then make sure that how they operate and what are their cultures and what are their beliefs. Make sure that you relate your product to their and then geared towards the description towards them. So here is an example of the e-commerce shopping app that this is just a random example that I have come up with to give an example of how to apply all the stuff that I have said to you all. So here we say Shop Smart deals and coupons. So they know that this particular application is providing a lot of deals and giving products at an offer. And the subtitle says discover top discounts, local stores, exclusive promo codes. This means that this is some kind of offer that is going on. So offers are usually associated with deadlines. So this will create a sense of urgency for the people to immediately download the application to grab that promotion, right? So if you want users to feel that urgency, give them some kind of a promotion, which is kind of you can give some dates and say that, okay, if you join in within this date for standard users, something like that, where people might be, really interested and actually motivated to download the application. Additional keywords for long description, you can say flash sale, daily deals, free shipping, fashion bargains, like etc., to actually emphasize on some of the search terms. These are the keywords that will be used when it comes to the marketing, and also when they are doing the search engine optimization. These applications will go on the top if you use these particular keywords. So when you're basically competing with thousands of applications, so this will actually elevate your ranking when the search results are presented to the users. Emphasize urgency keywords. That's what I mentioned before as well, like today's deal, splash sale, since they drive the search interest. And also include the store plus city if you target specific regions, just like Dubai electronics, Abu Dhabi clothing, likewise. Right? Hope you get the understanding. So with that, we will go for a brief activity here. So this is a kind of an interesting activity. Imagine yourself as the users, right? People who are trying to download the app.
Hi,
Yeah.
hi, Pratishna. Right,
Yeah.
team. If you have any questions on these app store
Yeah.
optimization and assets and what we talked so far, if you have any questions, you can shoot the questions, and then we can go to the activity. Provided you don't have any questions, we can continue with the activity.
Definitely,
Please
yeah.
feel free to shoot any questions,
Yes.
because I know most of you are going through some of these phases right now. And the whole idea is to make sure we end up submitting for the testing today. So please do let us know if you have questions here. Continue, brother.
Yeah. Right. You can keep actually, you can raise your hands, and I will definitely get the questions while we do this particular activity. Yes, we have a question from Wallsplit. Jeff. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, just a brief question on the localization. So do you mean if we publish the app on, let's say it goes global, but in a country where English is not their general language, like you said, the language, it's going to switch to the language of the said country? Is that what you mean?
Yes. Yes.
So how
So
do we
you
do that?
Yeah, so this is where this translation service and then different App Store features functionalities come into play. So each country, if you haven't put the translation, it's going to load in English. But when you are doing the store listing itself, you will get language tags in different countries. So when you say you are targeting a specific languages inside the translation service, you will basically go inside the you can either find it inside the main store listing, and they will also provide the translation service for you. So usually translation service is actually like where they translate your content, but here in the main store listing, actually you can translate the content. So in here you can see that the default is set to US English. So you can also do manage translation, add more language support. So in that particular languages, you can update different content. Imagine that in certain regions, certain things might not be a good way to market. If you use those words, it might not work, right? So those kind of differences are there. So when you are targeting particular those regions, change the wording a little bit to suit them more. So appeal to them more. So some countries might be spending, willing to spend a lot of money, like for example, in US regions where they go by and large. But there are some regions like Asian regions where they don't spend that much of money. So what would be appealing for them? So they can you can talk about more features and in the particular region where they don't worry about the money, and then talk a little bit more about how much return on investment that they are getting in that way. So you are targeting the actual pitch of yours in the store differently for different audiences through these different custom translations. Usually, if you let it automatically translate, it's going to just convert what you have put in English into the other language. So that might not make a lot of sense. So you can, if you want, you can spend time, try to target those for the different areas and regions. Hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. Okay, with that, I think we can go with the store listing showdown. So this particular activity is actually you perceive yourself as user who is trying to download the application, and I'm going to present a couple of samples, and you can actually decide on which one is more appealing and give them a rating for the 4 different variants that I'm going to show it. So I'm going to give you all some time to scan this particular code for you all to join this particular activity. So I will give 1 minute so that everyone can scan this particular code. All right. Okay. I hope everyone was able to scan the code. Now, right. So these are the 4 different examples that I want to bring to you today. One is Notion. So this is an example of the Notion application. Then this is a Castle Clash ruler. This is kind of a game. And this is Truecaller. This is something that you are mostly familiar with. And this is a localized application. So what are the different things that you actually feel like which is more appealing? Can you give me a rating for each different segments of the application where they stand on 1 to 5? So I will give you a few seconds to look into it and do the assessment. Right? I hope everyone can participate and try to relate to yourself as a user. Imagine these 4 application is presented to you, and how would you perceive this? And keep in mind, I will point out a couple of things like keep in mind about this localization. This is also kind of traditional. So that is, this is something common that they do in this particular region where they use certain graphics and it's fully utilized, right? Then here we have the couple of screenshots, and what are the differences here is that here we have a video because this is a game, and then they have Notion, which is a note-taking application, which is considered to be something very simple and easy to use. They have emphasized on some of the different things. Notice different titles, how they are doing the descriptions, and some of the ratings they have, and then they have mentioned certain things here. So notice all the different things and aspects and try to do the rating. Right. With that, let's look at some of your rating and how great. Yeah. So Notion takes the lead there, and you also have some people have rated Castle Clash, World Ruler, as some of the games as more appealing, and also then Truecaller is averaging at 3.2, and Taobao, Taobao actually, it's actually rated at 2.2. The thing is about the Taobao is that it has been fully localized for that particular region. That is probably maybe why that application might not be very appealing for y'all. And that's done in a way, it's done in a way to market that. So even in AliExpress or any other application that you use, it's kind of different, right? You might see a lot of icons, it's cluttered, it's a lot of information in a small space probably. That is probably right. I was talking about localization. Might be not appealing for our region, but this is one very good example. Like if that application was presented to you, which most of us are not part of that particular region, and it might not be very appealing for us. So that's what I was basically looking at, and that's actually very evident. And the Notion was very clear about their targets, and then their screenshots and everything was pretty much cleaner, right? Okay, great. With that, let's move on to basic App Store optimization workflow. So our application, we are basically competing with a lot of applications in the App Store and Play Store. Keyword research, actually, we need to make sure that we need to do research on what are the keywords that is being used in the for your application to actually find your application. Let's say if it is in the sports category, you mentioned about the sporting event and everything like that. So all those details are basically including in your listing, so that when you do that keyword research and add those keywords in your store listing, it actually ranks up higher than the other application. So this is where a newcomer like you guys can actually make us statement or create some noise by using these particular strategies. And then also update listing assets, and basically you do the copy and then you do the implementation. Basically you experiment. So I will explain a little bit about A/B test, right? So this is where we go hand in hand with testing in different regions. So let's say there is your target market, you can split it into group A and B. And then you can basically target something for group A, and then you target something from group B. And basically you can see what works. This basically our speaker today also mentioned that you can try different things when somebody asked about this particular pricing, right? That was the question I can recall. When the pricing is whether it is correct or not for a new application which has not doesn't have any competition. So how do we do the pricing? So you can do the experimentation, price it in a different way that you can try out how the different users are perceiving this particular application. Are they going for a higher amount or a lower amount, or where they are putting themselves? So if you are priced your product too low, then definitely there will be more sales. You can see that everybody is going for a higher tier, then definitely you have priced your product too low. Then you can actually price them accordingly. Then you can analyze, do track install, conversion rate, and retention. So why conversion rate and retention? So definitely tracking install is very straightforward. People who are going and installing your application, definitely it will count as one. What about conversion? Somebody goes to your application app store, look at your product listing, and still not go and download the particular application, or they download it, they did not go and sign up for the product. Then what is actually stopping them? Is it the price? Is it the offerings? What are the different things that are actually stopping them? You need to make sure that these information actually some analytics are done. Then also retention. If somebody is using an application and after a couple of while they will uninstall the application, why did we fail to retain that user? Did we give them a proper update? So did our service offering is something like one-off thing, so where we we miss the user by not giving them continuous personalized support. So we need to think about these things. Then iterate, refine the keywords, creatives in a monthly basis. Also make sure that you share some kind of a newsletter explaining if it is a complex product, explain how they can easily use it. So those different things make a huge difference when it comes to App Store optimization. Right. Before we move on to marketing and channel and analytics, do anyone have any questions related to the App Store optimization? I can take one question, probably. I hope everyone is with me.
Yes.
Great.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, I want to ask something that regarding to the presentation, either video or screens. I can use the screens for the full edition or version of my application, or it should be mandatory to use the exactly screens used in the MVP. You know that the MVP less features and also maybe not attractive, similar to the full version. So this is the question.
Okay, you can use, somewhat similar screenshot as to like, you're asking about App Store listing, right?
Yes.
I believe. Yeah, right. So you can use a actual screenshot in the sense you can give them the product listing, but it should be somewhat closer to the actual product. Once they download it, it should not be hugely different. If it is hugely different, definitely we will be having a problem with the App Store. In Google, definitely will definitely review your application and tell that, okay, this is not really matching, because people also can report those kind of applications as well. So make sure that you give the correct impression of the application. If it is at the basic level, then you can utilize the space to mention about your application. As I told you, like using the flashy words, catchy phrases and stuff like that, so that you can use those pictures instead of the screen grabs. Actually, you need to at least have 1 or 2 screens in your App Store listing. Hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Aisha. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, it's similar to the question that was just asked. What if we decide on the screens now and later on, let's say 6 months later, we decide to add features or want to change the pictures? Is it possible to change them?
Yes, absolutely. You can keep changing, and you have the leverage of actually testing different versions of it as well. So imagine that you are going to put a couple of new pictures. You can actually do an A/B testing and experiment whether users are actually more attracted to the new set of UIs and pictures that you have put.
Okay.
The downloads have increased.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Thanks. Right. Raja, you have a question?
Hello. So I want to
Hi.
ask, this also applies to the subtitle as well?
Yes, you can change the subtitles as well and do the experimentation as well. Just do apply.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're most welcome. Right. Okay. With that, we will, in the favor of time, definitely will move into the marketing channels and analytics. So some of the marketing budgets based on the investment that you have, it's actually differs based on organization to organization, who is backing and how much investment you have in place. So I have put a very basic amount, like $5 to $10 and a target to actually to meet in this particular universal app campaign done by Google, right? So you can use 3 headlines and 2 images, monitor asset performance, like I mentioned, like about different assets, how they are having kind of a difference in terms of downloads. Replace low performers, like for example, if you have images that are not very appealing, you can change them and pause the campaign and target after 3 days and stuff like that. So basically, how to set up this, you have to link a Google Ads account onto the Play account, define the campaign goal, and then you set the daily budget. and then set the ad assets like the headlines, images, and the video. If you have a video, then you can go with the video. If not, you can go with the images and the headlines, and you can actually do some marketing, right? This basic marketing will go a long way, because this will help you reach out to customers that you have already not spoken to. You are at a very basic level. If you are at a place where your user base is less than 100 users, you are new to the market, you are trying to get your word out, then definitely these kind of things will help for a very lower budget, right? If your marketing budget is very less, definitely this will help. There are other ways that we can do the marketing as well, and down the line, definitely we will discuss those factors as well. So with that, we will look at what Apple, the counterpart, has to offer for us. So we have the App Store Connect integration, and choose the we'll talk about some of the optimizations. Then we'll come to the campaign setup. So the optimizations actually to do the negative keywords weekly, and then shift budget to top converting keywords, and do the A/B testing, what is affecting, what is actually working for us. So this is actually to, when we are searching for the application inside the Apple, we just want to understand what keywords are being used and what is actually making our application rank higher in the search terms, and what words actually helping us to rank higher. So any negative words actually ranking us low, we need to utilize those things and try to add those words as well, so that either way our ranking is more higher. Right. Okay. Then we have the campaign setup. So in order to set this up, we will have App Store Connect integration, then choose the keywords and the bids, and then we have the use the audience refinement based on the demographics and the device types. Right. All right. So this is a high level UI of the Search Advanced, and you can click Start Now and then proceed with the steps there. So again, some tactics for Google Play releases. So you will get pre-launch releases when we do close testing for 1,000+ device models, which is tested automatically. And then we have also the store listing experiments that you can do, and the device targeting optimizations as well. And you also have a Play Instance application, but this Play Instant apps is actually getting discontinued in the future, so you can actually avoid that. Other places, all the device targeting optimization, store listing experiments, and the pre-launch reports, all of these things you can get leverage of for free in the App Store when you do the close testing release. So you will get those reports for free. You can actually sign up and do get those reports and fix the crashes. So in order to do the store listing experiments, which I mentioned before, is actually you can do the store listing, go to this particular store presence, then go to the store listing experiment, and then you can define the experiment and then select the store listing. So you can have multiple store listing, and then you can swap between the store listing based on the region and the audience accordingly. Right. So with that, we'll move into analytics. So these tools are actually coming into play after you put it into production. You will see a lot of analytics on the user properties, how kind of promotional tracking, and then how the basic usage of users are there. And some of the tools that we can use is Google Tag Manager. And then you can use analytics for Firebase and also the App Store Connect to actually understand the core KPIs. So the core KPIs will be the install, the actual customer conversions. Then after that, daily user, monthly user, active session lengths, crash-free users, crash rates, and then also the rate of retention. So 1 day, 7 days, a week of retention, or a month of retention, how long we are retaining a particular customer. So all of this information, based on that, you can make some crucial decisions. So read about these things, and definitely these metrics are some of the things that you will need to come up with once you are ready for closer to the production. So experimentation and A/B testing, we have some case studies which will be done shortly by Banu. So I will give an understanding about the A/B testing. So this is like I said, we will group the users. We will split it into 2 user groups and then target them different things and see the success rates. And we have different metrics that we will actually use to measure the success of that particular test. Right. With that, I will hand it over to Banu, who will talk about 2 case studies and then on the that which are actively available in the market. Over to you, Banu.
Yeah, thank you, Pratishna. So I will go ahead and start talking about the case studies, starting off with Duolingo. So I think all of you guys are familiar with the Duolingo concept because it's one of the most widely used applications to learn different languages. But what I want to highlight here is, Duolingo started off as a language learning application, but now they have branched out into so many other things. It's not only about language learning anymore. So they have introduced, they have branched out into math and music and so many other things that you can read about online. Because this, this evolution has truly made Duolingo a success story because, now Duolingo right now is a global phenomenon and a lot of people, who think about the success of the app, right? It's not just about luck at this point. It's about the strategies that they have used to improve their store listings and the amount of A/B testing that they have used on not only on the icon but also on the descriptions and the notifications that they use when people don't use the application, when they see that the engagement is low. What they do is they send out different notifications that actually alerts the user that there is an app like this. So why don't you start to learn a little bit of French or something like that. And the founders actually spoke about this in a couple of podcasts and all of that, also how much of an improvement that these things did to the app. And I have it listed right here on screen as well, how much the organic installs have gone up. And not only that, but also the retention of the application has improved here with Duolingo. So this is really good. And this is, going to be an inspiration for you as well to make sure that your app is seen and used by a lot of users. So now we can move on to the next case study, which is Calm. So Calm is also another popular application. I'm sure some of you have used it. So it's focused on mental wellness, mainly, particularly, when it comes to sleep, meditation, relaxation, that kind of area. So even with Calm, they have, used these techniques in their application to highlight and showcase their feature set in the application, and also the screenshots that they are using in the App Store, listing truly makes a difference. So if we move on to the next slide, we can see, some of the tactics that they have used now in their screenshots. They are not just putting the screenshot of the application, but they actually have the text written on screen, as you guys can see, and they are trying different elements here on the App Store and on the Play Store. Sometimes they have different kinds of images, and they try to A/B test on these things. And also just have a look at this particular version that they have here, not only just with a screenshot, but also with some statistics that inspires someone to trust this application, because it's talking about the impact that the particular app has made. So this is a fantastic way for you also to create that impact when it comes to your application. So think about doing these things, doing these changes. If your app gets selected for the editor's choice or the best app in the App Store or something like that, talk about that in that as well. So now moving on to the community and partnerships section. So regardless of how good your application is, you have to always ensure that you reach out to the local communities and online communities when it comes to your particular application, because it's important to have that the initial push from your end to ensure that people will use this? Like, people need to be aware that there is such a solution in the market, right? For that, we need to create that initial push. So maybe you can use various forms are available right now when it comes to social media, but also you can look at platforms like Reddit to increase your reach and all of that, right? You can work on guest posts or in different blog posts or different newsletters and things like that to always keep your engagement high, and also make sure that people come back to your application as well. So you can also try to partner up with other applications for cross promotions, or you can also use leverage micro influencers to improve on your endorsements. You don't need to have a big budget to work with a micro influencer. You can look at various other strategies that are available in the market as well. Now, the key here is that you need to try these things, right? Regardless of how much we look at these strategies online, without trying, without posting something on Reddit or without posting something on social media, we won't know how it will perform. We need to create these different awareness campaigns that will fit your application, and this will probably accelerate your application's growth. So definitely have a look at this, because it's going to create a massive improvement in how your app is distributed in the channels. So let's keep building, let's keep improving, and this is a work in progress, right? Like, it's not never really done. You can always make so many improvements. So yeah, that's about it for the community and partnerships. So now we'll move on to the post-launch and roadmap. Again, over to you, Prathishna, to wrap it up from here.
Right. So we are at the very last stages of our application, currently being in closed testing, and then a couple of weeks we will definitely go into a production phase. And also within this particular test phase, and we can do closed beta. So if people have already started with the initial closed tests, you all can move on to a closed beta and open beta. People might call it in different terms, like closed test, open test, and also then alpha beta testing, right? So you can go to the alpha state where you can actually allow the users who are pre-approved to be entering the application and start using them. And also then you can allow the users to actually more users to sign up for your particular test. So that is the open beta. So with that we'll talk a little bit about post-launch roadmap. So immediately in the 1 week, monitor the key metrics, respond to critical feedback, and patch the issues. So the more responsive you are when it comes to the issues, how quickly you tackle gives you the leverage of not dipping into a bad review, and where the application will be continuously reviewed badly among the people, because many people are going to try it, and not all of them are going to give you personal feedback. They might actually put it publicly in their Play Store. So in order to safeguard your app's reputation, make sure that you address to all critical feedback in a very neutral manner, and don't take things personally. This is a very usual scenario where we'll have good reviews and bad reviews. So make sure you are prepared to address them. And also in the short term, in 1 month, implement quick wins. So in multiple things that we actually discussed even in the MVP, to have quick wins, where we spend a short amount of time to give something to the user where they would actually appreciate. So where it will have more value. So these quick wins, you need to figure out within the first ASO cycle, and also then refresh the creatives, and this see how quickly you can bring in some features in that will be appreciated by the users. Okay. Then also look into medium term quarterly plans, where you do feature updates, expand to a new market, scale and budget based on the ROI you are getting. The key important area is that, are you actually getting the return on investment for your application? How successful it is? Should you focus on the bug fixes, or should you focus more on the features? Is a key question that you need to ask yourself, and then try to make that call, and then make your plans accordingly. So strategize based on how successful your application is and where you are at. make sure that all the decisions are made on hard facts. So you have the numbers, and definitely you have to make that call based on those numbers, right? All right. So we are here at the very last moment where actually we are going to focus on our live submission activity. People who have actually submitted, definitely, I think Rabia will quickly inform a little bit about the Padlet and the links. So you can scan this particular QR and then basically take it, scan this particular QR, and basically you will be able to submit and see a particular Padlet where you can actually do those live submission screenshots upload, right, for us. So let's start off with me. So I will start explaining a little bit about how each steps is going to be. Hope you all are ready and with me. Let's start
All
off
right.
with
Hi, Pratisha.
yeah.
Hi. Right, team. Just wanted to see most of you very attentive, and we are going to do this together. I know there's only a few submissions we are going to do live because most of you are in the closed testing already, and we are expecting a few to will be starting. So it's very important to start the live testing today. I mean the closed testing today and the submission. So as how crucial, I know some of you, even we had even late night strategies last night to see how we can achieve this. So anyone who won't be able to submit it today, provided you don't have a very older Google developer account, which is unlikely, very less chance, right, to avoid the testing phase. So it's very important. The whole idea is now we will give this link again, but now we'll go through step by step, and we want you also to get onto your system. Can anyone on the chat to unmute yourself and just say, okay, I'm going to submit it with you now? How many of you are going to submit to with us now? We are going to take it by step process.
Hi, Faraz.
Hi, Faisal. Yes.
I think can you just check if we've done this? I think we've done this.
Yes. I think
From my
Faisal,
side, it's done, yeah?
yeah. I think just Rabia, please do confirm. I know about 10 of you is in a very good place. We have beaten the deadlines, and there are a few others we want to support. Anyone who is ready to do it with us, and namely, I could also name. Yeah, I am looking at. Here we go. All right. So just to congratulate most of you who has done, just to bring all of us into the same page, right? So Veronica is happy, is already up and live in iOS. Congratulations, Veronica, joining the race and accelerating it. Very proud of you, as I'm proud of everyone. Dharma app, Asma, very proud of you. Your app is live in Android, which we passed all the status and we beat the deadline. And it's not even on the closed testing team. It's already live. You guys can download it. We're going to announce it. And we have Karim Mahra from Pharma Medic, Ujin from CO2E, who is in town, Igman. They are all on test flight already. So which means the iOS submission on the test flight is there. So it's a matter of doing a little bit of testing and going live. And we have Emmanuel from Fetaflex, Hamad from Fuelingo, Carol from SQLi, Jeff from Wallsplit, Faisal from Yalla Baggage, Hamza from Kids, Shem from Guest Pass, and Louis from Blix Drive as submitted to on the Google Play. This particular step is done, and we have started a 14-day close testing is already started in the last few days before. And so today we are looking at Aisha from Sustainifex, or Haira as we change the name, Aisha from Totmedics, and Majid from Yajud. I think we're gonna do the submit on the workshop. Am I right? Yes, no? Are we on the good place to go for the submission?
Yes, today, inshallah.
Okay, right, Imagine, thank you. Can I hear it from Ayesha from ThoughtMedics? Yes, thank you, Ayesha. Brilliant. And Aisha from Sustainifix?
Hi, yes, let's do it.
Love, wonderful, right. So, which means we're
Great.
all three of them gonna add into the club of this. And I also quickly wanna check Ayman, Signify, just for the collectively, are we gonna do it now? Ayman, are you on the call? Yeah. Right. Ayman, please do get in touch with us. We really want to get this done with you today, and we want to keep you to the space. And is by any chance Maxwell? Okay, no, Maxwell is not here. And Angeli?
Fawaz,
Yes, Ayman. Yeah.
sorry. So you asked,
Just want to get a quick update. Ayman, is your AAB APK ready? Can we go ahead submit, or where are we stand?
not yet, as I mentioned in the forum yesterday, because I was very busy with thesis defense till yesterday, and
All right.
starting from today, I will go on, preparing this.
Brilliant. Ayman, please do get in touch with us. Soon after this workshop, we'll run through and get to the speed because today is an important deadline, right? So that we want to value all
Of
your.
course.
Thank you very much. Angeli from Investor Connect, do we have you? Okay. Right. Brilliant. So brilliant. Thank you very much. And congratulations to all of you. And I'm very, very glad where we have gotten this together. But most important is to complete the journey, right? Let's get on the journey. Pratishna, yes, over to you.
All right. Okay. Thanks for us for taking up that. Right. All right, guys. The teams who are actively trying to submit today. Hope you all have the. You will see something like this in your application. If you're not seeing something like this, just raise your hands. Then I will be able to assist you. Right. So first, you will see your app listing here. So once you enter your particular developer screen, you will definitely see your app listing here. If you haven't created your app listing, it's very easy. You can go to the home. You can click on create app. So at the moment, the account that I'm using, I'm not the admin. So this will be enabled for you if you're the admin, and if you have created the account, this will be enabled for you. This will actually take you through the steps of adding the screenshots and the store setup and all the details in that particular screen. So you just have to walk through the steps right there. So if you have already done that, then you will see something like this in your setup. So just click on the application, and then you will see something like this, test and release, right? When you click that, you will see testing, go to testing. So it's under test, and so I repeat the steps. I clicked on the application, came to test and release, and then I came to test and release page. Inside the testing, find the internal testing, right? So this is the internal test release track. So this will be available only for the testers that we actually listed here. So here we have some kind of developers within the team. So I've just enabled them and disabled all the others so that this particular update will only go for the people I have checked here. So if you don't have anybody here, not to worry, you can add people here later as well. So you just have to create an email list and just add the users there. So okay, so with that we will go and click on the, give me 1 second. I will also go with you. So here you have to click on the create new release. So with that, can we do a checkpoint as in like, are you guys with me, or like, do you have any issues in doing that up to this point?
Yes.
Yes.
I want to ask about the testers. The testers will keep without adding, and later will be added. Just will take
Yeah,
the
you can, for
emails
the
from you.
moment, For the moment, Margaret, can you add your email and just create a test link so that later on you can add the testers?
Okay.
Again, Pradeshna, clarify, Ajit, do not worry about the close testing phase. As we said, once you submit, once you do for the close testing submission, if there's a process, we'll ask you to add one of our app test at gocurveup.com to be invited as a tester. And from there, we will add the rest of the people and take care of it. Just we'll go through this process. Yeah.
Perfect.
Please raise all your questions you have.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So, Majid, let me know like once you're with us in this particular page, so then we can continue.
Yeah, sure. All right. Hope the rest of the team also with us. Let's keep going.
That is also with us. If there is any confusion or any questions, just let me know. All right. Meanwhile, I think this part is going to be very straightforward. Just click on upload and you will be prompted with the list of files. From that, you can select your APK or the AAB file to be uploaded here in the app bundle. You all have your ABB file ready, right? So just drop it into this particular. So actually, there is a question, where do we post the public testing link in the screenshot?
Eugene, you're talking about the Padlet link to give a screenshot for us.
Invite the testers.
Okay. Well, that is after submitting. So Pradeshna, we'll take that. So Jen, we'll address that after submitting. We'll show you how to invite the testers. For the same process, the testing is the initial testing. You can invite the testers. Take it over, Pradeshna.
Yeah. So once you have done the app bundle update, you will see the version like this. So it says 0.7.9 and it's my version. So whatever the version that you have actually added, it will show up here. Your release name will be automatically populated. You can put any name that is preferred. This is the mandatory thing, but you can change this later on. And also, this is something that you can enter. If you don't have the translations with you right now, that's not a problem. This is not going outside anyone that you have invited at the moment. So, so you can actually delete all these flags and just enter the English notes here, right? So let me see, I'm going to include this APK. So once it's uploaded, it will look something like this. Then I'm going to put the release name as 0.7.9. And then I will say this. So if you have a what's new document or if you have your feature list that is available with you right now to copy paste, please go ahead and copy paste that. And right. So with that, you just have to click on next. And then you will see save and publish, because this is an application that I have already updated. It will not, it will show something like this. If you are seeing something like this similar, make sure that your AAB is not already uploaded. If it is already uploaded, you just have to take one step back by clicking the back button. See if you have any APKs that is listed here in the APK list. If it is already listed, you just have to click include. Right, so you have the version and then click on next, and you will see this save and publish. Once you click save and publish, it will be available in 1 hour's time. So anyone having any issues at this point in time? And shall we hear the good news of you actually submitting it? And really excited and waiting to hear the good news right now, guys. Yeah.
Just I want also to ask APK here, it's same file of AAB. It's same, either APK or AAB is the same.
Yeah, you can actually submit either one of it.
Yes.
Okay.
Good. Aisha from Sustainify, Aisha from Ringu, do you have any challenges? Please do voice out. We're more than happy to step in. Great.
Yeah, click on the save and publish. So once you do that, I think we should be good, Aisha.
Yeah. Okay. Aisha, just so you know, I have not done until this part. So which means I'm gonna do after the workshop, or are you gonna do it now? We're more than happy to help you now.
I just noticed that I made the APK file in the debug mode and not the release mode. When I just uploaded the document, I got that error, so I'm going to change that and try again.
Sure, please. See, this is exactly why we always. Yeah, great, great. Always never too late, Aisha. As far as you are doing it now, please go ahead.
Yes, let me figure this out.
Brilliant. Aisha from ThoughtMedics, what do you think? I have done the internal testing part. Okay.
Okay, if you have done the internal testing, then I think we are good.
Can we get a release APK or AAB file, and can we get onto this process, Aisha from ThoughtMedics? And please feel free. We are more than happy to support you even after the workshop timing. The whole idea is to get all of us into the same phase. And also, I just want to quickly check on Benjamin. What is our process on iOS? We are submitting it today for the test flight. Just want to check with Benjamin too.
Hello, Fawaz.
Hi.
Hi.
Just let us know. Are we doing the iOS? I hope you are doing the iOS for test flight now. Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't started yet. We're having some few glitches in the app, so trying to rectify it first.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Once we put into the test flight, also is the time that we could do some rectification. Really appreciate to go and do live. But yeah, please give your best to it.
yeah. So I'll keep you
We have a
posted.
little bit, we have a little bit luxury of time since we're launching it in iOS. But again, I think in the next couple, I mean, maybe the next day, we need to do it to make sure we are all in the timeline of getting yourself graduated and being you in the market. Yes, Benjamin, keep going.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Brilliant.
Okay, so I think people who have done it, I think will receive a detailed email about the people who are going to, they will give a detailed email about all the steps that needs to be taken in order to add the new tester that we are offering as of today who has submitted. That include a simple video of how to add the email to the tester as admin, and then also others who have successfully submitted will also be communicated directly as well in the group. Yeah. So here, basically, you will get the email with the step of instructions from us. Then you just have to follow it to add the testers to your applications. So that's the next step, and then we will definitely sort that out soon after our submission activity is completed. Right. With that, if you want to internally send it to some of your testers, you just have to click on the copy link, which is situated inside the testers. You click on the copy link and the link will be copied, and you can ask the users who is already part of the email address to actually join the test link, so they will be able to test your beta application. All right. Okay. Right. With that, Fawaz, shall we move on to the
Yeah, we can, please. Okay. So the whole activity of live submission is all intended to make sure we intend to all to get your screenshot uploaded. Good hand, but again, I think since Majid and a few others are still doing it, we just wanted to give a little bit of a liberty of time, and some of you are rectifying some changes and agreed to submit it today. We will share this Padlet on the group as well, and just wanted to make sure all of you giving an update. So whoever who has done it, I would like you to go. You will see your name of the startup name. Go there, get the screenshot of approved testing phase, or if 2 of you or 3 of you are already live, put your live screenshot. We'd love to see the status there. All right. So we'll also share this particular link on the group, and we would love to have all of it done to make sure we are on the same approach. Yeah. All right. Brilliant. So let's straight move into Q&A. Any questions, any hurdles that you have? So I have a good summary of who is where, and then we are collectively working towards this has to happen. Anyone who is facing further challenges, would you need any further technical clarifications at this point for submission? Our focus is, if you're on iOS, you have to be on test flight today. And if you are on Android, APK or the AAB, the file has to be uploaded and be ready for close testing. Yes. Let's scan and put all your questions. Feel free to unmute and ask, and just all forms of questions, please. What a journey it is of 4 weeks plus and counting in to get some beautiful ideas out there on iOS and App Store. Please just can put your questions, please. Anyone has any further questions, team?
Anything related to the content? Yes.
Yes, Aisha.
Hi, just a small question. About are we submitting it in internal testing or closed testing?
We are at the moment targeting on submitting for the internal testing, and if you are ready to do closed testing, you can still go for the closed testing, and it depends on where you are at this point and how comfortable you are with the application. You can go up to even going for a beta release application as well if you are still ready.
But Aisha, I would recommend you to go submit for closed testing.
Yeah.
Right?
First, yeah.
Take it up there, yeah. So let's nothing below closed testing, and obviously anything above closed testing is completely upon your confidence and where you.
I also have one more. Like if I submit, I'm so sorry to interrupt. If I submit
No.
for internal testing now, and then after like some time, like how? Because I know when we submit in closed testing, I think it takes 14 days.
Yeah. So that's the whole idea, Aisha, right? So today we don't have the liberty to go anything below closed testing. So
Yeah.
if we are submitted now, some of the people whose app is already live or already on closed testing had submitted it on previous week for internal testing and then has pushed it for closed testing. And I think at this point we are in that stage, we are going on closed testing. So go ahead and do the closed testing, and we'll be there right there with you to see any other challenges which comes in the app to together solve.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes,
Also, yes, for the privacy policy, Is it okay? I can do it later. Is today only to upload the APK and the remaining points could be later to tomorrow or something?
See, yeah, but so Pradishna can add on further, but on a very transparent approach, ideally you should do it with the privacy link. There are some component when we submit for this particular close testing, some components which are directly linked to the live, right? So something.
Yes, you're right.
Right? So ideally better so that we might not skip anything. And that's one of the reason we had this privacy policy generator and all of these links, right? So maybe it's matter of getting that in place. But for now, please make sure that you submit the AAB and do all the mandatory tasks, because unless you are able to click save and publish, this task is not, cannot considered complete.
Yes, you're right.
Your close
Okay.
testing doesn't initiate. Right, so we'll keep it that as a focus. You will definitely have a lot more liberty because you see how many apps that you use, how many updates you get nowadays, and the privacy policy especially keeps updating, especially with the AI Act which is coming in place and Data Act which is being optimized and improved. So those are dynamics, but those are prerequisite as of now. Just do your simplest possible version, which is as a prerequisite, educate enough for you to save and publish.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Any further? Right. I would like others to share some thoughts too, like who I know is close testing, how is it going, and maybe some questions related to what you're going there. I see some active conversations in all the which is going on, which is happening, the amount of effort all of you put to make it live. Please do put it over to. Okay,
For us, I have a question. Veronica's here.
Yes.
Veronica,
Hi.
So since the app already live on Apple Store, we start to do the testing. We didn't promote to do the like wider testing only with the friends and families, because as you know that we are apply also for the business account. And now we are waiting when the business account will done so we can transfer it there, that we can already do 14 days trial and then the subscription base. Then we start to promote and advertise during the communities.
Absolutely, Veronica. See, your app is already up and live in iOS, right? App Store, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Not on the display, yeah. So the 14 days really comes on the Google Play. So what it allows you now is to connect all these database and structures and keep a common flow to even as an organization, as a company, right? When you give a content to update, it has to get updated in your iOS and also for Google, and which we are working on your Google developer account. So I think your way forward strategy is mostly about or sophisticating for better user acceptance and user download post publishing, and also to work on the Google developer account so that you have the advantage of time and our support within this time period to get your Google Android published as well, number one. And last but not least is get into a tech operational element of it, right? So once it's published, you're going to have content pushing, not just only the download of the app, content inside the app. So those strategies can come in place. But most importantly, please do keep inviting people to test it. Or if you are like, no, you know what, I'm not going to give a huge shout out right now. And since you are eligible to be graduated, Sarah Carmen and the Create Apps team is going to give you a media kit, which you will have some further information, which is a deadline on 18th, as you were updated on the check-in call. Yeah. So I think there's more elements which will enable you to give it a huge shout out. But I would say work on the further amplifying this as an organization and operational run in simple way. Yes, you have a lot to work on the rest of the approach, but technically you are live. Now let's work on further improving the features And maybe I remember we also talked about simplifying certain MVP. Yeah, maybe you can start working on what are the other feature you're going to release next while the testing is going on. So you're fully on.
Great, thanks. But my question is, shall I start to promote it now or once I transfer it to the business account?
Start promoting it now.
Now.
Yes, because when you do internal transfer, most of your database users can also be transferred. And at the same time, even if you have a little bit of a challenge, but it's usually the transfer happens synchronizingly better. You need not to worry about the current user base, but this would be the best phase for you also to get the actual beta or test feedbacks, right? So I would say promote it. Promote it at your best scalability so that you will head on to a lot more challenges like crash reports, which Pratishna was talking about, monitoring and feedback. So I think you have to promote, and that will be the best way for you to take it up. And so let me resonate on Carmen's message as well. Please do not, if you are on Android, there is no liberty you and me and the Create Apps team together have to extend your close testing start apart from today. It has to start today, right? That's the only way we're going to beat and you to be within the minimum and the latest time required for you to graduate, right? So there's no liberty apart from today. So please do make sure you put all the efforts. Yes, just wanted to resonate that message. And when you have it graduated or graduate eligibility, you're going to have a special media kit and there's a lot more coming up. I'm sure the Create Apps team is working on a lot more approach to make sure all your efforts are enlightened and enhanced to be on the market. Yeah.
Yes. And also there's a message about this form link that you have to fill before the 18th. So just make sure that you guys, once you have completed this submission today, can take advantage of that. You can submit the details into the form. Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. Anyone else who wants to resonate thoughts? How are the testing going on, or how it has been working around?
How does it feel actually to, publish something, and it has been always been a thought, right? So now it is actually something live. I think you really deserve a pat on your back at least to getting this far. And I think the game is still not over. And I think this last stretch, everybody just focus on trying to clean up your application, and then try to, if you have already submitted, if you are a good position, go and explore the opportunities out there with marketing your product, getting the word out, and then definitely explore the great opportunities you have. Yeah.
All right. Yes, Pratishna,
yeah.
thank you. So if there's no much questions, we can get towards the finalization of this. And please make sure you know whom to reach to, how to reach to, all that is there. But just will quickly remind you, get on touch with WhatsApp or extra technical support form, get it, and we'll be available for the whole rest of the week. But as you have a deadline today, we will be obliged about the support system who has not achieved it today, because as you see, problems like Veronica, Majid, we will be working a lot around those things to make sure the further launch is done accurately. So please make yourself eligible, and it's an important milestone. I also would like to, Shalom, you are on the call? Yeah. Shalom, just any update on what's the progress of your app also? We've been trying to reach you, but I'm sure you'd have a few other challenges. So Shalom, can you give us a quick update on what's happening with your app? Yeah.
For me, I would love a one-on-one a meeting with you guys. Mine is a bit more, I can't even explain it, but I just need a one-on-one with you.
Okay. Shalom, I think we tried our level best to get in touch with you before today. Please do, Maxwell, or you reach to us and or respond to some of our outcall messages, and we'll immediately be available today to set up a call with you and take it forward.
For this one, I guess I'm the only one who can reach out easily to, because Maxwell for now has a situation that I'm going to explain.
All right. Okay, no problem. Rabia and the team, be sure we have the contact details of Shalom. If not Shalom, you can just do private the number that I can reach you on. So please do me a private. If you're comfortable, put it on the chat, or just give me a private buzz, please, on this. Please.
Sure.
But have this addressed. And any challenges entrepreneurially, we are together to face together, right? That's the program of Create Apps that gives you a part of it. Great. Thank you, Shalom. Brilliant. So at the same time, please make sure we collectively go on this together. And we are here. Create Apps team is here. Like Sarah, Carmen, myself, and the entire team is here just to get your dream of goal getting done. But as I said, it's all do have a deadline. So which is today. I really, really want to get the rest of you, which is 4 or 5 of you, to make sure we make it today. And let me disclose. So Aisha, yes, we have to. We can do it now. Even Aisha, please go ahead, upload it, and submit. So exactly. Said on chat, go ahead, submit, and drop us a message. We're gonna give you further details about how the close testing we're gonna support. Just submit and let us know, right? Don't worry. Yes, Asha, I'm expecting your response on it for submission. And
Yes, definitely, I'll do it. But I had a few questions. Is it okay if I talk to you after the call?
Yeah, sure. We can do that too.
Okay, please. Thank you.
Sure. Right. Brilliant. So, but Aisha, if you have any question which will be beneficial to others also, you can just shoot the question here too. Do not worry.
Honestly, I was just thinking about the timeline. So we're supposed to finish the program by 27th, right?
Yeah.
And there's only 11 days left for that.
So
And the
that's one of the approach we are working with the close testing. So there's no way we can extend to start the close testing further and beyond this, right? So
But
you
that's
start
the thing. Even if I put it for close testing right now, it's gonna take 14 days to.
Yeah,
to
we'll fight this together with you and all the rest of you, right? So that's one of the things we are trying to see what is supposed to be done. So, but just because there is a challenge of that, because also Google has certain approaches. If your Google account is little older, they have a faster approach and access. And during the close testing, we could raise certain support tickets. We're figuring out all of it. As most of you have started it last week also, which the 14 days falls before. So, but please do go ahead, submit that. And
Yes,
today, and we'll be together with you on that. All those concerns are very valid, Aisha. Do not worry.
Just one more last question. Right after close testing, can I publish the app, or is there some time frame that's going to take from Google to publish, get it, check everything and publish? Is there any time frame for that?
Usually a 1 business day, usually.
Okay.
So, but however, it depends on the complexity during the close testing. And there is definitely an approval process, but this shouldn't be a major challenge. Once your close testing is done, yeah, it should be good.
Okay, I really hope we can do this in time. Thank you
Yeah.
again, and I'm so sorry for asking 3 or 4 questions.
Oh, don't worry. We're all here to answer all of this. Yes, Veronica.
Just a question first. Since you're getting all our application and everything, so I'm just question: are you going and testing our apps as well from your team on the functionality?
Of course.
Great. So at least we're getting feedback from you as well.
We will be the first ambassador. The entire Create Apps team will be the ambassador of all the apps which is being published on this, and we guarantee almost all of your app will be in our phone for a while. And after
So from
that,
now you're going to checking those who is already live. You're going to check like as a user experience and give us feedback, correct?
Definitely, and that's the this week of agenda. That we're gonna even get all the feedback with a live call. Do not worry about it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
No problem. And okay, what am I? Yes, please go on. Yeah.
I've texted you directly.
Sure. Thank you, Shalom. We'll get in touch with you. Sure, I'll take care of it. Yes. So, team, any further questions? Please feel free to get in touch with us. And remember the goal of entrepreneurship. Any challenge can come. Let me not repeat it further. We can go through personal challenge, business challenge, technical challenge, or even sometimes financial challenge to maybe upgrade certain tools, get things done in timeline. And if things were that easy, you won't be here. There would be hundreds and thousands of people here, right? You went through a whole process and been here. And personally, there are some times in my life I have given up on certain opportunity, and few years after I've regretted it so much. I should have put a little more extra effort, would have been on a different app. So entrepreneurially, conceptually, give your level best. And those who have a little bit of challenges in your AAB file, APK file, you think still the development is not done. It's not the best practice, but as a contingency, go ahead and upload what you have as a AAB and APK so that your 14 days close testing starts. Within the next 1 or 3 days, get the functional app and upload it. This is a very contingency. Just because you're uploading it today doesn't mean that everything is solved, because in the next few days you need to make a different build. You are just that you are fighting the timeline of close testing. It's just contingency, but I would love to make everyone to make sure you go through as much as possible, since I know, right, since the most of the case is like generic. Let's take it forward on one-on-one calls, who wanted to take. Let's go there, and wishing you all the very best. I'm waiting to see more updates on all of it. All the very best. Congratulations to all of you who is on the close testing and up on the live, and we're gonna do things together, and I'm waiting to experience all of your app and to use it. Wish you all the very best, and thank you very much. Comment, or if there's anyone has to add, otherwise you're all good.
Thank you very much, Fawaz, for the insightful, Prashant, for the step-by-step process today. So I think that everything is clear. Everybody knows how important it is to submit for close testing today. For those who have not submitted yet before the workshop, the ones that didn't submit during the workshop is now, is today. So the day to be able to achieve the goal. So that's it. As you very well said, if anyone has any further question, please don't hesitate. The team is still available for you. Take advantage of it, because they will be supporting you to get things done and achieve your goals and celebrate with you. So that's it. So we wish you all the best for today, and see you on Friday. We will have our check-in call as usually on Friday at 11:30. So we will celebrate.
Happy learning!